I've worked with clients, and some of the clients I've worked with had traumatic brain injuries. These traumatic brain injuries cause lots and lots of fatigue. So in my experience, what I have found to work in the beginning, and I talked about this with a client who suffers from concussion, is first things first. With almost all the clients, I look at their balance. I find that their balance and what their balance test tells me a lot of times will tell me how I might do their head movement or eye movement in the beginning. And what will happen is with these traumatic brain injuries, they will want to fall backwards, just like the concussion. The bigger problem is they fatigue faster with exercise. So what I have found is I try to find exercises that they could do pretty easily, and I ride those exercises. And the reason why is because all areas of the brain and nervous system communicate together. So because they fatigue, if I use an exercise that they can do a lot easier, they will fatigue less, and will eventually, because all areas are connected, will connect to the area that is weak. So an example is I worked with a client who had a traumatic brain injury, and the only thing that we could do in the beginning was tracking exercise. And again, the tracking system wasn't completely like doing it amazing, but it was the only system that he could do, and I had to really monitor the number of repetitions and how fast and what direction. Those were really important parameters I had to use with this client, but we were able to do that for a long period of time, and that seemed to really, and also colors. So colors, what direction, what speed, how many reps, and I used tracking because that was somewhat of the system that was intact. I could share with you, working with that client, we've pretty much normalized most of his function using the tracking, and now because the tracking really stimulated one area which eventually communicated to other areas, I'm now able to use virtual reality, I'm able to use a TENS unit to really drive his vagus nerve. So again, that tracking and that strategy of using something with these traumatic brain and with a client who has a traumatic brain injury, and using exercises that they could do well first, is really, really important and can really help these clients a lot.